Today we will be discussing a poem written by Christina Rossetti, and the title of the poem is Remember, or sometimes it is referred to as Remember Me. So we come on to the explanation and analysis of this poem. In this poem, Christina Rossetti softens the blow when she is delivering it, as if she is delivering a blow, but she is softening it. So it is acceptable. On one hand, she is telling what her lover would be deprived of. On one hand, she is telling what her lover would be deprived of, and on the other hand, she says that she will be missing a lot of things. So we can assume that there lies underlying paradox in these lines when she is saying that her lover would be deprived of many things which he might be getting from their association, and also states that she will also be missing a lot of things. So the loss is at both the ends. The future which the lovers had planned for themselves will be of no meaning now, because they are going to be parted. She and her lover, in this poem, Christina Rossetti assumes a semi autobiographical note. The narrator is the poetess herself, and she is saying that she and her lover planned many things for themselves which they would be doing in future, but all those things have become meaningless since they are going to be parted. She has used a metaphor in this poem, silent land. Silent land means the world of the dead. Now there is only one thing that the lover can do, and that is to remember her. Now the only thing her lover could do is to remember her. She could only be remembered. She will not be available in person because she is going to die. There is vivid imagery used in this poem. Imagery. I quote, "When you can no more hold me by the hand." It is often seen at public places that lovers are holding each other's hand. Now it will not be possible for her lover to hold her hand because she will die. And there is one inversion of thought. Nor I half turn to go, yet turning stay. No, she will have no choice. She will have to go and go away. Death will be taking her away. And now nothing will help, even advice, suggestions, or prayers. Nothing could be considered as a remedy for death, because death is considered as very cold and insensitive. Now nothing could prevent her death. No advice will work, nor suggestions, nor prayers will come to her rescue. Death is beyond advice or prayers. It is often said, and it is some kind of saying, that death is beyond advice or prayers. You can pray for the death, pray for the people who are dead, but they cannot be brought back to life through those prayers. There is one turn of thought, and I quote, "Yet if you should forget me for a while and afterwards remember, do not grieve." She is imploring her lover that it might happen that he might forget her for a while, and at the same time remember her again, but he should not grieve. He should not become sad. After her death, there is no need for the lover to be sorry. She is not asking for any kind of forgiveness or asking her lover to apologize to her. Darkness and corruption, these two words she uses in the poem, stand for pessimism. It could also be considered as melancholy and suffering. Now the lover is left with the memories of his beloved's thoughts. And those memories are beautiful, tender, and touching. But thoughts will also evoke unpleasant memories of her suffering. Even if he remembers her, he will become sad. And those unpleasant memories of her suffering will come alive. So she advises her lover to forget her and learn to smile. And this is the, you can say, culmination of the poem, in which she asks her lover or exhorts him that he should learn to smile rather than grieve, become sad, or cry. He should learn to smile and should not remember her and try to forget her. So, we end this poem, and we will continue discussing poetry in our next videos. Thanks for watching.